Tyrion.
È Tyrion, io lo amo. Vieni qua, amore mio.
Corriamo ad abbracciarlo.
Perché non mi fa correre, porco Giuda?
Perché sei una lady, insomma, devi avere un certo contegno.
No, io correre e lanciarmi a sedermi sulle laps del nano.
Aren't you looking lovely this evening?
Lord Tyrion, Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of House Forrester.
Kneel before her.
Your Grace.
The queen is pleased.
Courtesies. Impressive. You may rise.
Noi bifolchi del nord.
House Forrester is a northern house.
Devo rottarle in faccia un gin tonic all'imperfetto alle 5 del mattino.
I wasn't talking to you. I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is.
We serve king.
Is the one true king, Your Grace.
Yes.
And yet, for centuries the Forresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark. A house of traitors.
Erano i nostri wardens.
They were the
Metà me.
wardens of the North. We all served at the pleasure of the king.
Clever girl.
Tyrion, io piaccio a Tyrion.
Clever for her own good.
L'hai detto solo per quella,
The
allora.
girl did name Joffrey as the one true king.
Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
Here's the new
He
warden.
is the warden of the North.
Sempre senza
Your Grace.
sbilanciarci troppo.
He is. And I the Queen Regent and Tyrion the Master of Coin.
E?
The girl has a remarkable talent for answering questions while in fact saying nothing.
Yeah.
Le piaccio, gli piaccio, gli piaccio. In realtà no.
Allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies.
No, è proprio il gioco che non va bene, ragazzi, comunque.
There are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
Tu want me to benefit.
To our mutual benefit, Your Grace.
And at the pleasure of your king. It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock.
Certo.
It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
Yes, Your Grace. I would do anything.
See?
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
Io amo Tyrion.
Raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the war? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule
Tasto
the Seven
dolente.
Kingdoms.
Vero?
Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
She was just following her heart, Your Grace.
And the very same heart so quickly led her to my son.
If there's a
Oh.
point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Aia.
Aia.
Ma
Viene
non
fuori
sei mai
male.
soddisfatta, dai. Da
Sì.
del vino.
Però in realtà sto cercando di soddisfare Tyrion.
Sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
Let the
would.
girl answer the question.
I would be true to the king, Your Grace.
Well said. I was beginning to worry you didn't have your priorities straight.
Beh, l'ho detto,
Che
mi ha detto lei di
merda.
dire tutto quello.
Isn't she? The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
My sense is this girl will say almost anything to get what she wants. Which is not very encouraging.
Ah, madonna santa.
I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Porco Giuda.
Of course, Your Grace.
Non l'ho soddisfatto un granché.
No.
Tyrion!
Basta! Se lo compiace ancora un po' ti porterò a letto.
Minchia sì.
I'll walk you out. This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man. You have my condolences for his loss. These would be trying times for your family, even under the best of circumstances.
These are trying times, my lord. My family fears what might happen now that the Boltons rule the North.
They must still answer to the crown. You shouldn't forget that, nor should they. That certainly took courage. To so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Marjorie was humiliated, although Cersei seemed quite pleased. It was quite the first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining.
I did it for Lady Marjorie.
Rather odd, if that's what she asked of you. But I'm sure she has your best interests at
Certo.
heart. My sister
Col
and I
cazzo.
have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them.
Io lo
We
amo.
must find our amusements
Tutti lo
where we
amiamo.
can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the master of coin who decides such matters.
Vedi?
Haha.
The crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the crown in this regard, not her.
What are you suggesting?
Appease
I
me.
suppose the crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester. Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that?
It's a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion. Please.
You are a brave girl, aren't you?
Sì,
I'll consider it.
perché sono un maschio.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I promise Sansa
sono
I will join
anch'io.
her for
È
dinner
vero.
tonight.
Però tu dai.
Ragiono da
3
maschio.
beautiful
Sì.
bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival. The mere thought of them makes me thirsty already.
I hope we meet again.
Smettila di provarci.
Tantissimo.
Make Cersei happier. Until then, be careful. This is not the North.
No.
King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
Ma non ti preoccupare. Anche le donne hanno l'Ironwood. È uno strap-on di legno
Basta.
con la punta di ferro. Perché agli uomini del Forester piace così.
Brutta roba.
Mira, I was worried. How was it? Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing.
It went well.
Really? That's a relief. Cersei is known for being rather
Cazzo.
difficult.
Che
Lady
faccia.
Marjorie has spent the entire day working on seating arrangements for the wedding. Of course, you and I are seated way at the back, here with the 4th cousins and the 9th-born sons. Sir Jamie, I wouldn't mind tarnishing that white cloak of his. What?
Ah, Jamie.
And Oberyn Martell,
Oh.
Ah.
Red Viper. I'm told he has a paramour,
He is quite handsome.
Minchia, Oberyn me lo sarei fatto anch'io.
Anch'io.
from what I've heard. Perhaps Lady Marjorie could make the right introductions. Who knows? We might meet.
Ah,
the
ti
future
piacciono i
husband.
discorsi tra ragazze.
Ti sto odiando, voglio incidermi.
I can only imagine what it would be like.
Però è vero che parlano solo di matrimonio e sesso le donne.
Would you marry Joffrey if it meant you'd become queen? He does have a certain look about him.
Che razza
And
di
he's always
discorsi.
treated Lady Marjorie well. Which is
Che
more than
risposte
he
di
can say
merda,
for his
tutte e
mother.
tre.
I don't want to be queen.
Queen
È quella
and
giusta.
Who I'd have to marry.
Don't want to be queen? You northerners. You'd make a perfect scepter.
Una septa, che bello.
Imagine the power you would have as queen of the 7 kingdoms.
Non molto.
I might even allow you to be my handmaiden.
Che viaggi che ti fai.
Cogiuda.
Let's see. Who
Possiamo venderla a Marjorie. Direi che lei vorrebbe diventare
Brienne of
regina.
Tarth and Tyrion Lannister.
Che
What a
stronza.
perfect match. Sir Bronn and And
What are you doing? Well,
I'm sorry, my lady.
as am I. We shouldn't have been messing about.
this is not a game. It's a battle plan. Allies and enemies can be made with every move. Yet they say it is men who are powerful.
Lol.
The Queen was pleased by your display, Mirror.
Devo
I'm just
risponderle?
glad it's over.
Posso dirle che l'ho fatto per lei?
Exhausting sometimes. There's always someone to please or some perceived slight to smooth over. I fear it will only get worse when I am queen.
One
Benvenuta
day
nella vita
the
di
true
palazzo.
heart, the lords and ladies will have no choice but to love you.
Do you agree?
It's hard to please.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter
no.
what you feel. It only matters what you say.
You learn very quickly.
Va bene, va bene.
Your words to CERSEI were brave, but I know you must fear what the Boltons might do to your family. I do appreciate your willingness to appease her, as difficult as it may have been.
Thank you, my lady. There's been something on my mind. Something important.
Non puoi
I
mandare
did
via
have a favor to
un'altra
ask of
tizia.
you in return.
Whatever you wish to say, you can say it in front of Sarah. There are no secrets between us.
Certo, fidiamoci.
It's about my family.
I trust her.
I prefer to speak alone.
Scegli tu. Perché così poi perdi la sua fiducia.
I prefer to speak with you alone.
Dai, non puoi ascoltare tutto, brutta oca giuliva.
Pensa solo al matrimonio, dai.
Sì.
Diventare regina, però se lo ricorderà e ti ucciderà
Sarah
nel
will
sonno.
remember that.
Go on. Ask.
Forgive me, my lady. I wouldn't otherwise ask this of you, but my mother insisted. It's about my family.
Ramsay Snow. What would you have me do?
My mother fears our family will suffer if Ramsay is left to do as he likes. She thought, if a raven could be sent to the Boltons to let them know House Forrester has the protection of the crown. I know it's a lot to ask of you, and I wouldn't otherwise, but she insisted.
That is no small request, especially now.
I know, my lady, and I wouldn't ask this of you otherwise.
Hai già
But my mother
detto.
has left me no choice. She insisted.
L'hai già
L'ho già
detto.
detto.
Joffrey knows only too well your family fought for the Starks, and now you would have me ask him to intervene. Is the situation that dire? Joffrey will not look favorably on such a request.
I will forever be in your debt. My family will forever
A me
be.
piace Marjorie. Fa culo.
I don't know, Mirror. If Cersei were to find out...
You're the only one who can help me. You have power
Sì,
over
dai.
me, Lady Marjorie, as no
Anyway.
one else does.
La
Not
aduliamo.
even his mother.
With this I shall rule your life.
Ramsay Snow will arrive at Ironrath within the
Non
week.
si vede il gesto, per
I
favore.
would never ask this of you if it weren't so urgent.
Very well. I'll make your request, but I cannot promise anything.
È già
Thank you, my
qualcosa.
lady. I will send a raven to my family at once.
Non mandare cose senza che devi mandarle tu personalmente. Averlo coccolato per anni il Raven da Prodo del Re, perché sennò è vero.
Sono come le civette di Harry Potter, penso.
E no, ma
C'è sempre qualcuno...
che legge palesemente. Senza una spada, ricordiamo, niente
Stavo per
spada e
dire-
niente
Stavo
cavallo.
per dire ma con un cavallo, però me lo rimangio.
Lo chiamavano sfighità. È vero, dai. Sta per diventare Ser.
Terence Hill ti ha fatto male.
Mi piace troppo. È bellissimo.
Basta.
Lo voglio riguardare.
Siamo questo sfigato, per favore. Comincio già a odiare
Let's
interpretarlo.
play a little game, shall
Porco
we?
Giuda.
Oh,
Did you know my ancestors wore the skins of their enemies as a coat?
sta mania di spoiler la gente.
Not my best work, unfortunately. I suppose I had fallen out of practice. But he didn't make
No.
it easy. What with all that bloody
Di là.
noise.
Like a drowning cat. I thought he'd never stop.
As my father likes to say,
Porco
the
Giuda.
naked man holds few secrets. But the flayed man holds none.
Pity he didn't know your father was the Warden of the North.
He does now. How much further is it
Oop.
to these foresters?
A day, my lord. Two at most.
Oh merda.
What was that?
Niente.
My lord?
Listen.
No, non ascoltare. Stai zitto. Parla.
There.
Della Madonna.
Hear that?
Il mio cavallo arriva adesso. Adesso arriva il cavallo.
I know I heard something.
Stay still. Cavallo. Cavallo arriva, cavallo. Campa cavallo che l'erba cresce.
Never mind.
Bene.
We've wasted
L'uomo
enough.
Grazie a
non
Dio.
sa controllare.
No, esatto. C'è qualcosa dietro quell'albero,
l'albero.
quindi io mi fermerò davanti al cazzo di albero.
Meglio così.
Cicloppete.
Allora dobbiamo farcela a piedi fino alla barriera.
Sì. È un mondo di merda, te l'ho detto che è sfighità.
Che è figo. No.
Però potrebbe avere roba addosso, cioè tipo armi, cose, no?
Vediamo.
Perché dobbiamo andare fino a qua? Cioè perché nella luce questo urlerà di nuovo, si sveglierà, sarà bruttissimo. Sì. Cazzo se è brutto. E chi è?
Uno a caso.
Gioco ai videogames da quando avevo 2 anni. Adesso sono il re del let's play.